Every time there's a shooting and it's a white man, notice the silence around race. When it's a black man, Latino man, Asian man, that detail comes out front and center before the name's even released. Black male suspect, Hispanic suspect, suspect of Asian descent. They put the race in bold, underlined italics like that's the damn headline itself. But here, 40-year-old suspect. No race, no description, just suspect. That omission is the description. That's the tell.
What's up, my people? Welcome back to my channel, Iyano Show. Hope you're good, hope you're fine. I just want guys to appreciate you for just tuning in my channel. So guys, this is a church shooting that occurred in Michigan, there in USA, and this is at least one person was shot dead. The bishop of the church was shot dead during the incident. So Black Americans have come out clearly to react on this story. Some are reacting it negative and some are reacting positive. So, but the story about this Michigan shooting has brought more grief and more reaction, especially from these Black Americans reacting to the same story. So, guys, here just is a collection of these Black Americans reacting to the story. And from us here, Iyano Show, we are just saying that we are sorry for the incidents and we are sorry for the family, for the loss, and rest in peace the prophet and the pastor of the church. So guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share.
Every time there's a shooting and it's a white man, notice the silence around race. When it's a black man, Latino man, Asian man, that detail comes out front and center before the name's even released. Black male suspect, Hispanic suspect, suspect of Asian descent. They put the race in bold, underlined italics like that's the damn headline itself. But here, 40-year-old suspect. No race, no description, just suspect. That omission is the description. That's the tell. Because if it had been anybody other than a white man, they would have been sure to paint that picture instantly. And that is a dog whistle of white privilege. See, whiteness gets to be faceless, raceless, just an individual, while everybody else gets racialized. The bigger point is that yet another church was shot up. A so-called sanctuary violated again, just like black churches have been for centuries, targets of white violence. That same political violence that they tried to condemn when it came to CK. Just like mosques, synagogues, and temples too. The cycle keeps repeating because America won't face itself. Now in America, guns are sacred, whiteness is protected, and non-white lives, expendable.
People lost their life yesterday in Michigan due to a church massacre. And I made this point time and time again. Religion is man-made. I know it makes you feel good and it makes you feel like you protected and you special and some deity in the sky has a favorite group of people on earth that he protects. And all you got to do is ask. But that's a bunch of bullshit. All the prayer that y'all do, praying all the time, all of this being protected and covered in the blood of Christ, prove it. Because if this God created this place that y'all call God's house, you would think of all places in the world you would be safe at. It's kind of like base when you play tag as a kid. You would think you can't be it in God's house. A million times we've been seeing over and over again these massacres taking place. People being bombed and set on fire and all this shit at God's house. Shit, I hate to say it because my condolences to them people, but if they was doing some sinful stuff yesterday, they would have been safe. If they was at the casino or on the corner shooting dice or at the strip club doing all the stuff y'all talk down on, they would have been safe. Versus being up in God's house, but it cost them their damn life, bro. This is what I be talking about. Religion is man-made. It don't make a difference what God you believe in or pray to. Nobody is protected by nothing. That's it. We all in the same boat. And I know you got to convince yourself that you can belong to a religion and to give you like a repellent for the shit to go on in life and you don't have to deal with it. But no, bro, it's all an illusion and everybody going to go through the same stuff and you ain't safe nowhere. It happens in church all the time. Not to mention all the scammers, your reverends, your deacons, your perverted priests, your perverted pastors, the freaks that's up in church, bro. Ain't nothing safe up in that place, man. That shit is bogus.
Y'all, look at this video.
Go back to correspondent Brian Yennis. He has the latest for us. Brian, what can you tell us?
Kevin, we're learning more about the federal response to this active shooting scene in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Attorney General Pam Bondi posting on X just moments ago, quote, "I'm receiving briefings about what appears to be a horrific shooting and fire at a LDS church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. FBI and ATF Our agents are en route to the scene now. Such violence at a place of worship is heartbreaking and chilling. Please join me in praying for the victims of this terrible tragedy. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino also posting on X that FBI personnel are responding to...
Now, just imagine you get up in the morning, get ready for church. You go to church, ready to worship. You in church, worshiping God, then somebody just get their vehicle and drive it through the church. This man drove his vehicle through the church, gets out his vehicle where it's hundreds of people in the church, start pewing at the people in the church. Now, mind you, y'all know this had to be the scariest moment ever. Scariest moment. Now, y'all, that is not all. Why the man set the church on fire? The man set the church on fire along with pewing multiple people at the church. Now, they saying it was about 8 or 9 people that have been pewing, but we don't know for sure. It's still an ongoing investigation. What I read is that one person was deceased. Prayers to the family, but they say it was 2 FBI police officers that got on the scene and they was able to unalive the guy on the scene. Y'all, that is a crazy situation. Prayers to the family. We do not condone any violence, but we living in some scary times. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Y'all let me know. Bye, y'all.
Well, we already knew that it was going to be the usual suspect. So they finally identified the person, and look at him. He was a veteran. Had 2 American flags on the back of his truck, ran through the church, set the church on fire, took a few people out. And now he's out of here. Can't make this stuff up, bro. I don't understand what's going on with a certain community of people where they thinking that they have to take vengeance and justice into their own hands. I don't understand. And what was the people at the church doing? How were they the enemy? I don't understand. I thought this was, y'all don't love God? What's going on, man? Like, they spend so much time talking about, BLK folks this and BLK folks that. Meanwhile, their own community is deteriorating. And we've had so many mass pewings going on, and it seems to always be the usual suspect every single time. Rest in peace to those who lost their lives to this horrible thug, right? Because that's what he was. Shout out to law enforcement for doing what they actually needed to do in this situation. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay, we do have some updates now from the shooting that took place earlier at the Church of the Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Directly from the Detroit Free Press, 2 people are dead, including the gunman. 9 others are being treated at the local hospital following the mass shooting. Officers met the suspect and engaged in the gunfire that particularly neutralized and eventually ended up killing the gunman, and he was a 40-year-old man from the Burton area of Michigan. Police do believe that multiple people were trapped inside of the burning church, and they aren't exactly clear still on how the fire started, but they do obviously believe that this was deliberate. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Big Gret, she has, put out a statement just giving her condolences and, everything, because this is a very scary situation. And this is, once again, just our reality of living in America, where we're going to be constantly running from bullets. No matter if you're at church, if you're at a movie theater, or if you're at school, you're going to be running from bullets. And once again, our very same Congress people don't care anything to do anything about it. Because once again, the majority of them are being funded by the NRA. And these are the same people that want y'all to believe that we were wrong for some of our thoughts about. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. But I hope, everyone that is still with us in this shooting, I hope they are able to fully make a recovery. And I hope that their families are able to get with them at the hospitals and check in on their loved ones.
Y'all, you can't make this shit up. There's been another incident at a church where somebody came in and started shooting. And then, as you see on the picture, they lit the church on fire too. Multiple people has been hit. This is the Latter-day Saints Church in Michigan, y'all. What's going on? What is really going on? So they said the dude walked in and just started opening fire on any and everybody he seen. And you had people trying to escape. And that's when the shit caught on fire. So they did say the shooter is down. But that didn't stop him from opening up rounds on 6 to 8 people. And it's unclear if any of them either survived or was unalived. I'm gonna let y'all know. We just gotta understand that this shit ain't right, fool. Something is going on, bruh. Why are so many churches being targeted? I just gotta know.
Working in conjunction with the federal, state, local authorities. I was asked by Grand Blanc Township, where the scene is active, to put this message out to the community.
Shit crazy.
That there is a more active threat. The shooter is down. We do have multiple victims. The entire church is on fire, and we're working with fire and all those things that happened during active shooter training.
Another mass church shooting in the state of Michigan. When I say no state is exempt, that's exactly what I mean. Let's talk about it. The gentleman on the screen has been identified as the 40-year-old suspect that chose to get up Sunday morning during church services and ram his truck in the front doors of the Church of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Upon hearing the loud boom, the congregation of over 100 members got up and ran outside, only to run into the line of fire, which caused 10 people to be shot, and 3 people is reported as being unalived, which included the suspect. Not only did he ram his vehicle into the building and start shooting, but reports are also stating that he may have planted an IED explosive that was found on the premises, which caused the building to catch fire. The reasoning behind the shooting is still unknown. But what I know, in my personal opinion, America needs change. And it's time for Donald Trump and his administration to stand up and acknowledge the truth behind the violence that's happening in America today. Because this type of thing is happening daily. There is another one I have not yet to make a video on. This type of violence needs to be addressed. Let me know how you feel down in the comments. Like, share, comment, and follow me for more controversial topics.
I can't believe I'm talking about 4 different shootings in one video. There was the North Carolina shooting, the boat shooting, where homie this guy got on a boat and from his boat shot at people who were at this waterfront bar. You cannot make this up. Shooting number 2, Bourbon Street in New Orleans. There was a shooting that left 1 man dead and 3 people injured last night. There was the shooting at the church this morning that just happened where the church is on fire. Homie drives his car into the side of the building of the church. Church catches fire and then he starts to shoot people. 2 people dead in that occurrence and he killed himself. 9 people injured. And then there was a shooting at a casino where 2 people died and I believe 4 people were injured. This all happened in the last 24 hours. Yes. What is going on in America, bro? What is going on?
Now, here's everything we know about the shooting in Michigan at the LDS church. Now, what makes this story so mysterious is that the person who is involved in the shooting, who is now dead, goes by the name of Thomas Sanford. Now, Sanford happens to be a right-wing Christian zealot, so people are now questioning and investigating why exactly did he do this to a Christian church. Now, according to CNN, here's everything that they know about this assailant. Now, CNN states that he is an Iraq war veteran, an outdoorsman, and this is according to his military records as well as his social media posts. Now, it states that Sanford had rammed his pickup truck into the front of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Those are the Mormons, so that's the Mormon Christian sect of Christianity. Now, he fired his assault rifle into the building before then setting the building ablaze. Now, here are some of the still images. The entire church has been destroyed at this point. CNN also reached out to the Marine Corps, and they stated that he was a decorated veteran who served during the Operation Iraq Freedom, for several months starting in the summer of 2007 and had received several medals for his service. Now, Sanford is married with a young child, and as of 2015, he and his wife did start a GoFundMe to help fundraise because their son does have a genetic disorder. As of why he did it, we don't actually know. There are a number of reasons as to why and a number of conspiracies as to why. Could be socioeconomical. I mean, he did have a GoFundMe for his child who had a rare disorder, so we don't know if they even had health insurance. He could have fallen down some deep, dark rabbit hole about the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints and enacted his revenge on the church. We don't actually know why, but I'll keep you guys posted and updated if you're interested in knowing why he launched this attack on these church individuals.
In a recent act of domestic terror, a mass shooting, 4 people were murdered, 8 were wounded, and 7 are unaccounted for. In a mass shooting of a church that was set ablaze. We need to pray, friends. I've warned you against this. We need to pray for protection. We need to pray against this evil. We need to pray divine coverage against wickedness. But more importantly, we need to pray that this will not become a trend in America. If you believe that God needs to intervene, write Jesus in the comment section and share.
A brutal church attack took place this morning at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. The suspect has been identified as Iraq war veteran Thomas Sanford, who opened fire inside, taking 2 people's lives and setting the building on fire. And while conservatives stay worried about immigrants and black people, they need to focus on the real threat: homegrown extremists in their own communities. The violence isn't coming from the people they scapegoat. It's coming from the very people they refuse to hold accountable.
I can't even count the yard. I just came home from a photo shoot, bro. And come to find out that a church got baked, my boy. What is this? Bro, what is y'all on in America, bro? Y'all gotta chill out, bro. Y'all gotta chill out, bro. I tell y'all need to move. Y'all need to move. Y'all can sit here and complain about all these other countries, bro. Bro, in Vietnam, bro, they don't have no guns, bro. I was talking to True, like, day before yesterday, and I was like, bro, you've never heard of a stray knife. Bro, you've never heard of a stray knife. You never heard of stray hands, bro. But you've heard of stray bullets. That means somebody that bullet wasn't intended for got hit. Well, you've never heard of a stray knife. I mean, you can get these hands, but I mean, that's intentional. Nah, bro. And to know that I'm very big on church, I'm very big on God. Nah, bro. Nah, this is diabolical, bro. Nah, but y'all need to stop. First, it was my man, Charlie Kirk. Now it's churches. Nah, bro. Y'all getting from bad to worse. This is diabolical. Y'all need to chill out. Y'all need to chill out. And that's a reality check.
Multiple people have been shot at a Mormon church in Michigan, and the shooter is down, police said Sunday. The shooting occurred at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, about 50 miles north of Detroit, local police said in a social media post. The church was on fire. Police said there is no ongoing threat to the public. The church, circled by a parking lot and a large lawn, is located near residential areas and a Jehovah's Witness church in Grand Blanc. The community of roughly 8,000 people is just outside Flint. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said in a statement that her heart is breaking for the Grand Blanc community. Violence anywhere, especially in a place of worship, is unacceptable, she said. The shooting occurred the morning after Russell M. Nelson, the oldest ever president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, died at 101. The next president of the faith, known widely as the Mormon Church, is expected to be Dolan H. Oaks, per church protocol. This is also a developing story, so when new information comes about, I will definitely update y'all.